Let's celebrate games! That scared the shit out of me. Oh, this is gonna take ages to clean up. Holy hell, what a year it's been for gaming. Yes, I know I say that every year, but this year is different. How different? Well, you'll have to wait for part 2 to find out. This year, it's a top 25 list, split into 2 parts, this one having number 25 right to number 11. There are going to be a lot of surprises in store, but man, this list was way harder to make than any other year that's come before it. As always, I'm going to open with stating this is my list, my opinions. I'm sure our opinions will differ here and there, but you'll get reasons for the order. Also, I haven't played every game this year, so if a game you loved isn't on this list, that might be why. Alright, enough with the introductions. Let the fun begin. Samus is back in spectacular fashion. After a pretty big hiatus and a disappointing Federation screw-up, this series really came alive this E3. Nintendo announced not 1, but 2 Metroid games. Metroid Prime 4, which had literally a logo, but that was enough to send the internet into a meltdown, and Metroid Samus Returns, which released just a few months later. What a lovely surprise! And what a fantastic game. This is one of those games that I honestly rated quite low in comparison to others on this list, but I still had a lot of fun with it. It has flaws, quite a few actually, but it's a great time for any Metroid fan, especially since there's like 40 of the bloody things swarming the planet. 3D platformers made quite a name for themselves this year, to the point where Microsoft were like, fuck it, we can make one too. Microsoft took the time out of their busy FPS schedule to make a 3D platformer. I know! Let's be honest here, it has been an absolutely dismal year for Microsoft. Besides Cuphead and the Xbox One X, they haven't really released any exclusives worth shouting about, or more accurately, any exclusives at all. It's really surprising. Halo Wars 2 was at best, Forza 7 is Forza, good or not, but was given a worse overall score than the past 2 games. In fact, its user score on Metacritic is 56. Ouch. Cuphead, the best Microsoft has to offer this year, was also released for PC, so what's the point of the console if we're being honest? Crackdown 3 and Sea of Thieves were delayed until 2018, and Scalebound... Oh dear lord. However, a company called Playful created Super Lucky's Tale. Super Lucky's Tale may not necessarily be anything to shout home about, but it was honestly good fun and genuinely had some clever hidden secrets, fun levels, and I just had a pretty good time all around. No, it's not going to win any awards or anything, but it is a good step in the right direction if they decide to continue making these types of games. Have a sharper focus, a little more challenge, more variety in the bosses, a freer camera and more levels, worlds and gimmicks, and they could certainly have a winner on their hands. So I heard you like adrenaline-pumping, archaic action that never stops and makes your heart race and your eyes bulge from the glorious visuals and a never-ending enemy onslaught that will test your skill and your knowledge and... Okay. Breathe. Next Machina is insane. It just doesn't slow down, and I loved every second of it. I really don't need to add more. I mean, look at it. Look at the glory, the splendor, the deaths. Oh, why'd I put that in there? Just try it out. You won't be disappointed. If you're a fan of Animal Crossing and deserts with a hint of Zelda thrown in, then Ever Oasis is the game for you. I've personally never been able to get into Animal Crossing since I find I just get bored after a few weeks. I completely see the appeal, but it's just not been for me. However, this was definitely for me. It turns out all you needed to lure me in was a couple of dungeons similar to Zelda thrown in, and a vast overworld with many side quests to explore, and then a want to care for my village. Or, I guess, in this case, it's an oasis. It does have its flaws in combat and puzzles and engagement at times, I'll grant you, but the bosses were always something I adored in this game, which was great, because it really ramped it up near the end. Boss after boss after boss, and not a single one putting a foot wrong. That's what I'm talking about. Alright, I know I'm gonna get some hate for this, but please hear me out. This is just my opinion. I've had a love-hate relationship with Breath of the Wild since I first started playing it. I immediately loved how the game looked, played, felt, and I was completely engrossed in this incredible world. And then the tutorial section ended, and the cracks started to show. Weapon durability. Yeah, I can't stand this. I absolutely hate it. I like that there are a lot of really interesting weapons, and the exploration is key to getting better weapons and armor and money, etc. out of the game. But how fast the weapons crumble, that's what I hate. It's just so nonsensical. If I have a sword, you know, a weapon designed to kill people, I don't expect it to crumble by killing a couple enemies, but lo and behold, sometimes that's what happens, and it just makes no goddamn sense. Here's a bow and arrow. It's being used for the first time. After firing a couple arrows, the bow starts to break. I'm sorry, what? How? How does that even? And I'm sorry, but the motion controls in this game are some of the worst I've ever played. I've played some fucking atrocious third-party Wii games that play better than the motion controls in this game. That's saying something. That one shrine, you know which one it is. You can't defend that. I get it. The game is great. It is. That's why it's on my list at all. The world is fascinating, beautiful, the freedom you have is liberating even if it feels endless and pointless at times for better or worse, and the way the game plays is fun. I can see why people love it, and I'm glad everyone does, but for me, somewhere down the line, it lost its way and just doesn't feel like a Zelda game. It's a great game, but I personally don't see it as a 10 out of 10 like seemingly everyone else, and I certainly don't think it deserves Game of the Year. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Now, this might feel a little like a cheat since the game doesn't have too much that's new added to it, but I never owned the DLC and I also love the battle mode, so this was perfect for me. The original Mario Kart 8 is fantastic, you all know that, but now it's just better. Yeah. I've been a fan of Formula 1s for as long as I can remember. I've seen champions rise and fall and absurd crashes where drivers barely ever scratch on them. I've seen epic overtake after overtake, and I've also seen some really awful channels air the races. Looking at you, ITV. Channel 4, you're doing great, keep it up. But I haven't bought or really played a new F1 game in nearly 6 years? That's a pretty long time. However, one day I was just browsing the PlayStation Store and they had a sale on, and F1 2017 Special Edition with plenty of classic cars from F1's history was on sale at 50% off. I usually don't impulsively buy a game like that unless I'm on holiday and I've heard absolutely nothing about the game before, or it's 4 AM and I'm making poor life choices, but I figured, you know, why not? It's the last year that the Malaysian Grand Prix will be in F1, and that's one of my favourite tracks, so it would be nice to play it. Also, it was cheaper than F1 2016, so yeah, I got me a racing game. And what a game it is. I've played some really iffy F1 games in my time, but they've really tightened up how the game feels and how much it feels like an F1 car without going into this is practically undrivable territory. Every weather and damage condition applies, and you can adjust so much whilst driving to ensure you get what you want out of the car. It's just a really in-depth fun time, to the point where it's actually an esport now. What is that? What? Okay. Oh, the character models look pretty bad, but the game's good. If you like F1 and you haven't bought one in a while, I'd recommend it. It's hardcore and it's a great time. Plus, I love purposefully crashing into people so I can watch the replay at any camera angle in slow motion. That is satisfying. I'm a kid, I'm a squid, I'm also somewhat disappointed because my favourite roller weapon with the Kraken is gone. That said, boy, does Splatoon 2 add a lot. Weapons I didn't enjoy using in the first game were right up my alley in this one, and Salmon Run. Oh wow. Yeah, this game is basically the first game with a little more changed and added, but Salmon Run is one of the most addicting multiplayer modes I've played in a long time. Engaging, hectic, squid on fish action. That's some kind of weird fetish porn somewhere, but for Splatoon 2, it's just gaming perfection, really. I never played the first 3 entries to the Mario & Luigi saga, and I consider that a good thing, especially since Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga got remade for the 3DS. I have plenty of time to play the others, but a brand new experience really was great for this game. It was at a point when Nintendo were on top of their game and were being incredibly creative. As they start to do that once again, this was the perfect time for a remake. That and almost every game under the sun is getting a remake at this point. Some just do it better, and this one nailed it. The Plus Bowser's Minions portion was alright, a little boring, but that's not the main attraction, so who cares. Oh, Sonic Forces. What a rough ride you've had. I can't say this is a great game. Far from it. Its level design is simple. You can create a persona and... I am the roughest of knuckles, I am a dangerous weapon. I commanded a war zone and quite frankly did fucking nothing. Okay, but really, it's not great. It has many flaws. So why do I love this game so much? That's not a rhetorical question. Why the fuck do I love this game so much? I couldn't tell you. All I can tell you is Infinite Boss Theme 1 is basically Gangnam Style.
Oppan Gangnam Style. Gangnam Style.
Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon didn't really do too much that's different to warrant buying the game again if you bought the original just last year. In fact, for some characters I find it destroys some of the interesting things they did in the original. Looking at you, Luzamine. However, they do bring back all the villains for one spectacular finale, and all the trials in the game were made way harder, and that's something I have to respect. Looking forward to seeing you on the Switch, Pokemon. I don't have any nostalgic attachment to Wonder Boy the Dragon's Trap, besides maybe admiring the screens and music from the game as it was used in various I Wanna Be the Guy fan games that I used to play. That said, I absolutely loved this remake. This is how you do a remake. A seamless transition from the classic 8-bit to the new gorgeous jaw-dropping look. And they even have a way to have split screen between the two. Just... that hits all the right spots with me. Oh, and the soundtrack uses a proper orchestra, and I love me a professional orchestra. As for the gameplay, from what I can tell, it's basically the same, but why change what works, right? Now as we look towards the future, I look to Game Atelier, who are working on the next game in the series, Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom. It's gonna be great, I know it. Good luck, guys. As we make our way to number 13, this is where things got super tough for me. These next 13 games are some of the best I've ever played. Forget just this year. Number 13, however, does something not seen often. ROM hackers turned game developers and leaders with Sonic Mania. Basically the ultimate love letter to any fan of Sonic all in one incredible game. Whilst it may not have many aesthetically new levels, you'll find that the levels you know and love that return aren't quite the same. Far from it actually, they've been completely reworked and it's brilliant. Sonic Mania is probably my favourite Sonic game to date, just ridiculously good gameplay from start to finish, with so much more packed in, from its unique Chaos Emerald stages to its expanded Blue Sphere bonus rooms and much more. Plus memes. Gotta love all the memes in this game. As a side note, can we give a shout out to Eggette, also known as Omelette? I don't know who exactly thought this sprite of Robotnik looked a little like his niece or something, but I love this. I'm not always into the whole, oh, we should put this fan character in stuff thing, but oh, you should put this fan character in stuff. She's adorable and could be quite the adversary. Sometimes there are franchises which are huge and you have no idea how you could possibly find a window to get into them. But Yakuza fortunately presented itself with an opening with Yakuza 0. There are very few games that go from beating the shit out of thugs to casually singing karaoke, to playing bowling with a girl who has a fetish for people who are good at bowling. Yep, but Yakuza is one of those games, and it's a fucking triumph. Yakuza 0 sets itself up 10 years before the first Yakuza game, following the story of two people, Kazuma Kiryu and Goro Majima. There's so much to their story, and it will have you hooked throughout the entire game. But there's just so much to appreciate in this world, from the extremely thrilling fights to the surprisingly well-made minigames. If you're a fan of pool, don't buy a pool game. They do exist on the PlayStation Store for a lot of money. Buy this, because there's a great pool hall. From that to the extremely bizarre side stories, you're going to have a lot of fun with the optional side quests. I went into this game knowing literally nothing, and I couldn't be happier I gave it a shot. This is a franchise that has utterly won me over, and I dare you to tell me you didn't have a good time playing this game. Oh ho, so low down. Kingdom Hearts 0.2.8 Final Ultimate Insane Fragmentary Chapter Episode Side Story Part Prologue Bros with Knuckles, featuring Dante from the Devil May Cry series, is the final thread before Kingdom Hearts 3 hopefully launches next year. And yes, it's not even in my top 10. Coming from the guy who loves this series with all his soul. That's just a testament to how damn good the competition is this year. So, what is this game? Well, my 2012 Game of the Year, Dream Drop Distance, has been made for the PS4, and it certainly looks stunning. Its trophies are utterly bullshit though. Do yourself a favour. Don't fucking do it to yourself. Nothing is worth it. Anyway, that's included. It has a 1-hour movie featuring new characters explaining what sort of kick-started the Keyblade War, and will confuse you more than it has any right to. Also, it has a lovely little tease at the end. What the fuck is in the goddamn box, Nomura? What is in the box? And finally, the star of the show, 0.2 A Fragmentary Passage. Basically, Aqua's story from Birth by Sleep to Kingdom Hearts 1. It's sort of a tech demo for Kingdom Hearts 3, but damn, it's a beautiful one, that's for sure. The Dwarf Woodlands Dark World is a fucking beautiful place to explore. That shattered glass look is just incredible. Overall, it was great to replay Dream Drop Distance, and it got me more hyped than ever to play Kingdom Hearts 3. But at the end of the day, it's not Kingdom Hearts 3. It's a very well put together tech demo, but there are many games better than it. But what games? Well, you'll just have to wait to find out. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, share the video around please. It really means a lot. Also, click that little bell next to the subscribe button. You'll get an email notification whenever I upload, which admittedly is a lot at times, but shh, it's fine. You'll like the emails. They're good emails. I must say, it's been a lot of fun writing this list. It's definitely been a challenge compared to other years. The whole thing, all the top 25, is over 7,500 words. But I'm quite proud of how it's turned out, and I hope you have enjoyed it and will enjoy the next part. I don't really know what question to ask for this video. I normally ask what's your favourite game of the year, but we'll save that one for next time. So let's instead go with, do you agree with me? I'm expecting many people to be like, how do you not like Zelda? But I don't like but yeah. Thank you for watching, everyone. I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.